three. Going for the St. Louis now.
Oh no! Son of a bitch.
You get your two?
Yeah. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thotgor here, of course. And yes, we are back to normal service. Sorry for the absence there, but had to do a bit of things, and those things are now done. Excellent. The replay today, really awesome. When I saw this replay, I knew I needed to get this up here. It was actually submitted by Poodahead. You'll recall that we had a few other videos of him up here before, so thanks again for sending it in. And he is in his St. Louis today. And yes, it is going to be an epic St. Louis battle. These are awesome, aren't they? Now, on Big Race, and to sort of set the scene, first of all, you can see that he's where he spawned. He's in the northern part of the map, and the guy right ahead of him, there he is right there. This person here, what is that, a Chikuma? Yeah, because this is a tier 2, tier 3 battle, so the Chikuma goes off more or less on his own, and you can see Poodahead debating, right, whether or not he wants to go with him, whether or not he wants to support this guy. But yeah, what the hell, you know, why not? At these tier 2 to tier 3 range, this map, because this map is, you know, pretty small. You'll really notice it if you play on this map in like tier 4, tier 5. But at this tier, it's, you know, still pretty small, but your range that you can fire isn't as much. So yeah, it's still a really great map. And I mean, I love playing on this map in my Kuma. But anyway, you can see Poodahead here even warns Buddy not to go off on his own. Like, just hold up, I'm on my way. But he's not paying attention. That, or he just, well, I guess you could even say at this low tier, just even not aware of, you know, what's going on or how to really play, right? Still learning. So you could say that, and that's what we'll go with for this guy. I don't know how many people have tried the Chikuma. I mean, it's not a great ship. At least I didn't find at the tier 2 level. To be fair, I mean, I wasn't in it very long. Had no interest in keeping it, obviously, but the time I did have it, I didn't really enjoy it a whole lot. But we do have an enemy St. Louis here off in the distance, and Poodahead is putting shots into him. Firing high explosive, and yeah, this is what you want to fire at these lower tiers. That's what I found anyway. I mean, you could definitely make the argument for armor piercing, and I would support that argument. It's just I find it a lot harder with the armor piercing at these lower tiers to get you know, good citadel shots on enemies and do a whole lot of damage that way. With regards to high explosive, at the tier 1, 2, and 3 level, that's just what I fire the whole time. Because, you know, you can set these awesome fires like this St. Louis here off in the distance, just burning up. You can set those awesome fires, you can destroy modules, you can take out guns, you know, it's really effective, I find anyway, at the lower tiers. Even if you're in a battleship, let's say. At tier 4, though, that definitely changes. Tier 2, 3, and 1, yeah, those kind of out of order. Those tiers, yeah, definitely love high explosive. So there's a St. Louis over there, but he obviously does have a destroyer friend with him, right? Because that smoke didn't come from nowhere. And the St. Louis does go out of sight here momentarily. You can see he's popping in and out, but Poodahead keeps putting salvo after salvo into this guy to try and get him gone, right? He's on such low health. If we can just kill this guy now, that'll be a big help and boost to the team overall anyway, because you'll notice that the team currently is down by a number of ships. But the Samson here is just getting too close for comfort. There was another teammate shooting at the St. Louis anyway, so, you know, why not just let that teammate hopefully finish off the St. Louis while Poodahead focuses on the Samson here. Because he's getting close, and at these low tiers, destroyers, well, destroyers at any tier are a major threat. So you got to do something about it. So quickly putting shots, or at least attempting to put shots into this guy as best as you can. It's hard to judge when you're at these close ranges with destroyers because they are really quick as to how far to lead them. But yeah, I would do what Poodahead's doing, you know, just don't fire the full salvo, do one cannon at a time to get your range, then once you have the range, start putting your full salvos into them. Exactly what he's doing now. The Samson really doesn't have that much hope at this point. He already fired off his torpedoes, right? If you noticed, Poodahead dodged them earlier. Gets the kill on the Samson, so that's the first kill. That's awesome. And then, the Samson, was reloading those torpedoes, never had a chance against the St. Louis. There's just so many guns on this thing that it's really difficult, especially when you're at close ranges and you're in a destroyer like that. Now there are a number of enemies over here, right? Like we've got a few South Carolinas. I think there's another St. Louis. So just kind of taking those enemies in. You can notice that the Allies did kind of come up to the northern part of the map, right? Allies St. Louis, or South Carolina, sorry, it was right there. And there's an enemy St. Louis. So yeah, still putting shots into these guys, seeing what's going on, taking a look for maybe better targets or targets that are closer. There is that destroyer over there. Why not put a few shots into him? Bit of coffee. While the destroyer is the enemy destroyer that is sort of going behind this island, there are torpedoes to be aware of, but yeah, not really a big deal. They'll most likely run out of range before they even reach Poudahhead, but still always good to not take the chance and to get out of the way. If you recall from one of my Ever Wonder videos, there definitely was some rogue torpedoes in that video that I had no idea existed. Allied South Carolina here is coming across, and Poudahhead is going to make a push out into this opener, Thotgor, really? Into this open area. The enemy destroyer was destroyed by the South Carolina, so that was awesome. And now it's just a matter, again, of taking in the situation, right? Always try and do this at these low points. Well, not low points, but quieter portions of the battle. Try and take it all in and see where you're best you would be best positioned to help out the team and really make some sort of meaningful contribution. So we have an enemy Kawachi over here. These Kawachis, I really. When I first got the Kawachi, I really didn't like it, and then once it got upgraded and I started getting more used to it, I really actually did enjoy the Kawachi and ended up having a lot of fun in it. I didn't keep it, but still I thought it was a great battleship at Tier 3, and I definitely enjoyed it more than the South Carolina. I did play the South Carolina in closed beta, so haven't played it since we've gone full release here, so I don't know if significant changes have been made to the South Carolina. But my main reason for enjoying the Kawachi was just simply because you had those main turrets on either side, on the port and starboard, and so I could fire from all directions in certain situations. This unfortunate South Carolina, he's over here, and I'm not sure what he was doing. Maybe he was in the process of slowing down and going into reverse because he realized he was about to, plow into the island like he just did there. Or maybe he was trying to employ a strategy with the battleship and, coming to a stop or, reversing. I guess I don't play battleships enough to be able to say whether or not that's a good strategy. I can definitely see situations where it is a good strategy to use. But just coming to a complete stop for me in a battleship is really dangerous, and I try never to do it. Never. I will slow down my ship, but I never come to a full stop unless I get grounded and just didn't see the island. The island popped out of nowhere. So Poudahhead did put a few shots into the South Carolina, but because of the island there, the line of sight is broken and he doesn't see the South Carolina anymore. So for now, that South Carolina does get to reverse and not get away, but at least live a little longer. But Poudahhead isn't taking any chances. You can see he's being really aggressive at this point. It's still really close. This Chester that we're looking at here, he is in fact... is it the Chester? Well, it is a Chester, but I think this guy's AFK. Not really sure what he was doing. Maybe he got disconnected, but yeah, I think he is AFK. So Poudahhead takes advantage of the situation. I mean, why not, right? And starts putting shots into the AFK Chester. He does have some other enemies he could be shooting at, but they're not a really big threat to him right now. So I would be doing the same thing, frankly. I would have put the few shots into that Chester, and now the South Carolina right there, you see he's much bigger threat now. He's presented himself more, so shooting into the South Carolina. An allied ship does end up finishing the Chester, so that's great. You don't have to worry about him, because maybe he disconnected, and you know, now when he comes back, he'll find a nice little surprise that he's been killed instead of being able to jump back into his ship and maybe do some sort of contribution to the battle here. Which is exactly what you don't want. So Puddhead's now rounding the island. You can see in terms of where he's gone, he did start out in the north and then more or less went down the middle in towards the southwest, and now is working up that west side, right, to really just kind of strafe the enemy, and the way that the enemy has been positioned and the way his allies are, the allies are now focused in the north, so the enemies are all heading to the north, and this works to Puddhead's advantage because now he's essentially outflanking the enemies and shooting them from the rear. The enemies are more concerned with shooting the more numerous ships they're being faced off here in the north, and aren't really concerned with Puddhead. You can see it with the South Carolina here, right? Like, look at his turrets; they're not even facing Puddhead. In walks that other South Carolina, and you know, he's on really low health, so yeah, switch targets and get that guy gone. Because you know, a South Carolina or any ship who even has 1 hit point can do just as much damage as a ship you know, who has 100 hit points. So take out the one that you're going to kill first, if it's advantageous to do so. Because he was going down the middle like this, and because of this map, he's making really good use of the islands here. You can see that most of the hit points that Puddhead has are gone. He really only has a quarter health left, so has to make use of cover where possible to absorb shots and help not even, you know, break line of sight and not have to take shots, to just preserve as much as possible. So there's the South Carolina again, puts a few more shots into him and gets the kill. That was great. That's the second kill. Yes, here is the actual AFK player. This was a Chikuma. That's why I hesitated with that Chester a while ago. Yeah, I think the Chester did actually disconnect, maybe. But this guy, Chikuma, full-blown AFK. Putting shots into him. Why the hell not? Again, the South Carolina, who is off to the starboard side, isn't even firing at Puddhead, so doesn't even concern himself, and Puddhead puts shots into the Chikuma and gets a Confederate. That was awesome. At these low tiers, getting these medals is a lot more significant, I find, than at the mid tiers. The tiers in the middle, maybe tier 5, 6, and 7. The higher tiers, it's also a pretty big deal as well, because it's just the sheer hit points involved. And at these lower tiers, I mean, your guns are just so limited that it's questionable as to whether or not, you know, how much damage you could actually do and manage to pump out. St. Louis has so many guns, though, that you can see it's just crazy. I mean, he's gotten the high caliber now as well, right? So, just amazing. The Chikuma does end up being the third kill. Almost gone here. He's burning. Just it's all over for him. There he goes. That last salvo didn't even land. He ended up burning to death. So 3 kills for Puddhead now. And in walks the Kawachi again. So we gotta start doing something about this guy. Bit more coffee. Even though the Kawachi isn't really firing at Puddhead, the way he's coming, he's going to end up, like, their 2 paths are going to cross. So this Kawachi is going to be a big threat shortly. So trying to deal with the threat as soon as possible, obviously, again, right? There are some other enemy ships here, like you can see South Carolina, that has, you know, pretty low health, but we're going to be taking out the Kawachi as best we can. Kawachi starts firing at Puddhead, and it looks like the Kawachi is firing armor piercing. I don't know if that's the best move at these tiers. Like I had mentioned earlier, I think high explosive would have been better, especially against St. Louis, because with your high explosive you have a bigger chance of taking out guns and turrets, and that'll limit the amount of firepower that the St. Louis is able to dish out at you, especially doing these broadsides, right? But now the Kawachi isn't even focused on Puddhead. There's another ally here that the Kawachi is really really has a hard-on for and wants to just take out. See, if this was me and my Kwachi, I would have been using those turrets there on my starboard side to be firing into Puda Head, and the turrets on the front and rear and on the port side to be firing into the other enemy that would have been presented in front of me. So, just, I don't know, maybe word of advice for Kwachi players. You have guns all around you, use it. It's a little more difficult, but still try. Some final salvos going into the Kwachi here, and Puda Head gets the kill, and that is his 4th kill. So up to 4 kills now. This is really, really awesome. Things are going well. It's just South Carolina here putting some shots into as well, and I think that's a St. Louis. So just those 2 ships left, and then the team is going to have it in the bag, right? Things are looking up. Gotta be aware of the low hit points, and then the St. Louis starts putting shots into Puda Head. So things are getting a little hairy, just a little hairy, you know. A little more coffee, just to calm the nerves, and continue putting shots into the South Carolina. Yeah, there is a St. Louis there, but hopefully the ally is going to do something about the St. Louis. Hopefully the shots he's putting into Puda Head now are taking a toll, but hopefully manage to avoid and dodge shots as they come in. South Carolina, though, managed to get shots off, and that's what finishes Puda Head. It was tragic, real tragic. But I mean, the contribution that Puda Head has made to the team is going to ensure victory here. There's no question about it. There's not. Look at the scores. Look at the health that's remaining. Like, the St. Louis is almost gone. The South Carolina just went down. It's just that low hit point St. Louis remaining, and you know Puda Head's team has 3 allies remaining and a full HP South Carolina. Battle over, and it's victory. This was an amazing match. So 183,000 credits, 3,300. There we go. Fuck. 3,300 HP, high caliber and Confederate. 201 hits, 4 kills. 12 fires, a Citadel. You can see that Puda Head is top of the team overall. In fact, he has earned more than double, just a hair, but more than double than the top XP earning ship on the enemy team. So that was also really awesome. And I mean, shout out to the Wickets there, right? So that Wickets made huge contributions to this game as well. In terms of damage done, if you add up those numbers, it comes to 102,480 damage done at tier 3. I think that's amazing. Just amazing. 102,000 damage at tier 3. I mean, it's a good game in a tier 7 when you get that. In terms of what he walks away with, 175,000 experience. You can see this is a 1.5 times battle, so this was the first battle of the day. Just an amazing battle. In fact, the story behind it is that Puda Head had, really shitty battle, and it was sort of frustrating, and then blam, played this game, and it was just amazing. So, that's today's video. I do hope you enjoy it. I might actually try and get a second video up later today. We'll see how that goes. Just because I haven't put up a video in a few days here where I was traveling. But again, thank you so much for watching the video through. If you have any replays of your own that you want to send in, be sure to do so. My email is in the comment section below. And as always, I do hope you enjoy the rest of your day.